Awesome.
And we are done. That's cool. That was epic. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Love our chats. Just loves the my does.
Mm.
The Isn't it funny? Like, oh, just to me, I was speaking to Cal about this. To me, connecting to my why is the most important thing I can ever do. Ever do. Like if I ever don't start with why, if I don't connect to my why, I find myself feeling a bit lost, meaning that I've gotten to a point now that unless I'm coming from purpose and there's a greater purpose for what I'm doing and why my life exists in the first place, I actually feel disconnected. I don't feel aligned.
Yeah.
And that's in every area too. Like that's for having a why for like, obviously we've got big chunk ones, we've got business and we've got personal. But then you chunk all of that up as well. Like if you sort of go, okay, well there's personal and then there's a why, like there's a goal, there's a why, there's a purpose for health, there's a purpose for
Yeah.
love, there's a purpose for adventure. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, oh, just to me, that's when life gets super delicious when there's a purpose for everything. For me personally,
Yeah. Yeah.
and because of my wiring, because of my code or whatever. So the point I'm trying to make is this: that um, I have a massive purpose for my business, and to me, it changes, and I'm okay with it changing. Like to me, I'm changing, I'm growing, and my business should grow and change with me.
Yeah.
And so some people, I don't know about like if you've noticed this, but some people will get a little bit hung up on the fact that they're like, oh, I thought this was done, I've got to redo it. No, you're not redoing it. You're evolving. You're
Yeah.
innovating. You're expanding.
Yeah.
Like
It has to.
to
You have to check in. You have to see where you were. You have to go further beyond that to see if you're still on the right track. And if things change, they morph. It's your morphing. Your why might become bigger or smaller. That's completely natural. We've actually experienced that with this new client that, or not a new client, current client. We're switching over to the new agency. It is we will be going through some of the work that I've done with them in the past regarding the goal setting and the BHAG and the 5-year plan, those kinds of things we will be revisiting to see, but now putting it into a new format, but also for them to reflect back to see whether or not they are still in tune, if that is still what they're chasing for. Interestingly, we did that exercise with a chiropractor just before we actually went to go and meet with them. Today's been an absolute mental day. And one of the cool things that came out was the chiropractor all of a sudden changed his five year vision, his 5-year goal. It changed completely from just being a chiropractor and not treating backs but fixing them. That was his USP. To now all of a sudden he's looking at how he can disrupt the entire market of just being a regular chiropractor, but actually being someone that stands out and being able to license that concept to chiros who want to now go into the field of a prenatal, postnatal, this or that. Like there's a complete subsection that he now is developing the rights to license out. And with that in mind, it changed simply because 3 months ago when we started working with him, he hasn't developed that, and his thinking was so short term that now we revisited and all of a sudden his 5-year plan changed. Everything changed. It's him changing. And for him to go that, we've now got new opportunities, new possibilities, and we can guide him into a whole new direction. So it is important
That's
to
friggin'
revisit.
oh, massive. To me, it's huge. Like if we don't have the time to tap into that conversation every few months, then something's wrong, and we probably shouldn't be in business in the first place. To be honest,
Yeah.
the that. But here's the thing. Like one of the things that I speak to with my clients, or one of the mindset shifts that that I have my clients get is it's never done. And that's okay. Stop trying to get to the top of the mountain where apparently everything is just peaceful. Stop running up that friggin' mountain because you're like, oh, once I get there, I'm gonna be like, that's it. I never need to go anywhere. I can just it's done. It doesn't happen because imagine even in real life though, Quinton, think about it. If you did run up a friggin' mountain, and yeah, do you know what? At the beginning, the view would be awesome.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed that after a few months of one view, we kind of
Get sick
not
of
that
it.
we do a little bit, don't
Yeah.
we?
It's not as inspiring. It's more like
No,
it's no more like owing like
no.
wow,
Yep.
like it's no longer.
It
It's
doesn't.
like cool.
Yep. it's nice. Like, it's nice to be in a good environment, but
Yeah.
ultimately you're not like, oh, you're not present. You're not like that, but even like humans, when I was a kid, I'd get a toy, and for the first couple of weeks, I'd be like, oh, it's my favorite toy. I'd take it everywhere. And then see me a month later, where's that cool toy that you were playing with a few weeks ago? What toy? Oh, it's under my bed, and I've got a
Yeah.
new toy.
Yeah.
You know, but even like, oh, the who you are right now is very different to the who you were when you were 2 years old. Am I right?
100%.
When you were 5 years old?
Yeah. Even yesterday.
So,
We'll get
and so,
there.
yeah, we'll get there. But this is where, like, I laugh because to me, the day I got, the journey is not complete. The day I got, this journey never completes. Not only did I get relief, because when I went down the road of what if it was complete? What then? And I saw my soul die. Because once it's complete, there's
Yeah.
nothing left to do.
Yeah.
And to me, when it comes to business, if we're in business and we're not enjoying the process, if we don't like the game of business, which is expansion, improvements, it's tweaking things, it's mad scientists sort of doing
Yeah.
its thing. It's growing into a great leader that knows how to attract the right staff and train the right staff and be able to let go and let certain parts of the business be totally taken, like to let that ego for a bit and now
Yeah.
have to release certain parts. It's to innovate, it's to come up with ideas and try them out in business, and not all of them work. It's not about what do I do to get to the top of the mountain so I can just chill out. It's not.
Mm.
And to me personally, that means that the story has to be epic. The why, well, the story, the message, the why has to be epic. It has to be big enough that drives you no matter
It
what.
has to carry you. It has to take you through those times where it's not so clear, or you question, you doubt, and the unexpected comes up. That's your true north. That's the
Yep,
only
it's
thing that's
massively true.
yeah.
Yep. And to me, the why gets like to me over the years, the why has been more fine tuned. So at first, it was a big picture why, which was raise the vibration of the planet and therefore raise the vibration of the universe. And I feel like, well, I made a difference. I came into the planet and, I rocked it out, right? Like I
Yeah.
wasn't just one of these people that just sat in the sidelines. I actually actively contributed to the evolution, right?
Yeah.
And the purpose of that was so 100 years from now, it's even more epic here because I do believe that when we evolve, when we vibrate at higher frequencies, the environment's a much more pleasant environment to be around. I do believe hanging out on planet Earth is friggin' awesome, in the pockets of vibration that I hang around in.
Yeah.
And I don't believe I would have liked it so much, 1,000 years ago. I think I probably would have thought Earth is a bit backwards and primitive and sucked.
Yeah. Yeah. We live in a
When it was,
beautiful age now.
does that make sense?
Yeah.
I believe so, and that's vibrational change. That's what it is. So anyway, my first big picture thing was raise vibration. Now, like I'm still raising vibration, but it's like the articulation of it. Same with you. Like when you look at the articulation of your why, hasn't it evolved because you've stayed in the conversation? Just like you've evolved from that 2 5 year old. Your Quintin, your characters, just it's still you. You just there's more of you.
Yeah.
There's just more depth to the picture.
Yeah.
So now for me, it's massively about adding heart to business. That heart, humanity, humility belongs in business. And it's about treating the market, the clients, and our staff with so much love and respect that it brings out the best in them. It's
Yeah.
been aligned and bringing that to the business world, being an authentic leader, because the people that we interact with, our market, our clients, and our staff, when they're around us and we're doing a stellar job of being awesome
Mm.
and showing, like being the example of what it means to be an awesome human, that has great intentions, they feel wonderful. They go home and they treat their families and friends even better because they've just had their bucket filled by us.
Yeah.
Now, when they come home and now they're lovely to their wife, husband, children, then those people feel epic and everyone's needs are met. And then those people go off and the
It's this
ripple
huge
effect is
ripple. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. And so to me, like working with business owners is massive. working with business owners who have staff is massive because they're the ones that are actually going to have the world vibrate at a high frequency. So
Yes.
does that make sense?
Yes.
Where, like it's this, and ever since that came to me, like when that realization came to me, that vehicle for having my vision to come true came, now I'm like obsessed with that and how do I help these people be even better leaders and step up to being even more aligned and have them taken care of so well that they're never in survival, they're in thriving, so when they thrive they can be the best them. Ultimately though, to me it's we grow and our business grows because we grow and our vision and our story grows.
100%. 100%. And to just go back to your thing with the staff, that's essentially why I started learning about NLP. I was working at Crust as a pizza store manager, and from that I went to go and learn NLP and did master prac and everything because I wanted to be able to help the staff perform at a better level. And it was so cool, like boom, it was so cool. I was using all of the switch patterns and the finger thing and this and that, and I was using all of those techniques to help them get over what it is that was currently going on, for them to be in the best state, for them to perform best, and also to assist them outside of the work area. And it's just magical with the things that we were able to achieve with these people. And I'm still friends with some of them that are so grateful for what I've helped them and where they are right now. And it was so cool that is essentially what got me going, where it's these kids are having their very first experience at a job. And I want to be able to create the environment to give them the most amazing experience for them to carry forward to the next place, so that they know that this is a standard, this is a place, so that they know that if they step into the next workforce, that if this isn't met, that maybe they shouldn't be in there. Maybe they know there could be something better. Maybe they will make a difference. Maybe they will strive for something more. But if you can go in and you can impact the business owner who has 100 staff underneath him, you're affecting the environment and creating such an amazing impact to their lives to empower them so that they can carry forward, whether they take it home, whether they bring it up to their next generation 10 years later when they have kids. But it's the fact that it's teaching them something to empower them. And that's why David and I, we've gone into creating this marketing agency, because we want to be able to help that business owner just basically do epicness in his business and provide the systems that empowers the rest of his culture, to give their staff the systems that can actually help them become the best version of themselves, and then therefore help them develop. That's the ultimate big picture, and it ripples down. It's this massive, it's almost like MLM, like the pyramid scheme, but from the top down. Like it goes, you just work with the top and it just goes and yeah.
How's it go? Oh, the thing is though, like to me that's massive. Like, so I was talking to a friend, and she's been disconnected from her mission. Meaning that because she hadn't connected to her mission for a while. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Are you there?
Yeah. Continue.
Hello. Oh, it went really. Yeah, I default. Hello.
I'm there. I'm here.
Something happened. Technology gremlins. Anyway, yeah. So I was talking to a mutual friend of ours, which I'm not going to mention just in case she doesn't want to be mentioned in this context.
Yeah.
But she'd actually been feeling like like not motivated towards her business, and going like, she goes, I don't get it. Like I really just don't. I want a break. It's like I just want a break. I don't really want to do anything on the business right now. I'm a bit over it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And here's the funny part. I said to her, on a scale of 1 to 10, how connected are you to your mission? How connected are you to the purpose, the why, the reason why you created this business in the first place? And she goes, probably at 2.
Yeah.
And I've gone, that is why. Like, 1, it could be that the mission and vision need to be recreated. It could be time for it to be updated. That, there could be that. Or it could just be that she just hasn't been tapping into her why continuously. Like it was a project she did, and then off she went to do other projects versus getting that we live in why.
Yeah.
We don't create culture. We don't create a vision and a mission and values, and we go, well, that culture project's done now.
Yeah.
I did
Step
it.
out of the
But it's
one
true.
into the other. It doesn't work like that.
It's true, but businesses do this. They're like, okay, so culture, let's get this done. All right, well, here's my vision, here's my thingo, here's my done, loaded. They don't even remember it. They couldn't even tell you in their own words what their freaking mission is. They're like, oh, hold on, let me just get it. It's here on my laptop somewhere. No, you're doing it wrong. That's like me saying, why do you love your wife? Oh, hold on, I've written it somewhere. Let me just. If you can't answer that question,
I love
there's something fucking wrong here. And and so the conversation with her was, hey, get that right now the reason this is happening is definitely not for a lack of strategy, because
Yeah.
the strategy. It's purely a lack of purpose. It's
Yeah.
a lack of why. It's a lack of energy and drive and momentum, and to me it is like even looking at certain like I was just talking to a client before we got onto our podcast, and he was asking me around how do you get your staff to be so awesome. And we it's because we haven't done the culture module. He hasn't done the culture module yet.
Yeah.
And in the culture module, I do get my peeps to create epic, like I call it a why statement. So it's like a mission statement, but it's even sexier.
Yeah.
The and they create the values, they create everything around their culture. And when they advertise for staff, they actually embed the why statement and the values into the ad, so it pulls to the character that's mission is the same thing at core.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's literally it's the avatar of their staff
It's
that
no
the
longer hiring on skill. It is hiring on character. It is getting the right character that's going to
yep.
help drive you.
Yep, and obviously then that enhances and it builds. Now, here's where it doesn't work. It doesn't work if someone just goes, okay, well, that's our vision, that's our mission, that's our values, and that's in the laptop. So if anyone asks me about it,
Yeah.
I can get it out, and then I go off and hire people, but I'm not hiring from the culture, and I'm not like obsessed about the culture, and I'm not living from the culture. I don't, to me, you should live from your values in business. That if
Yeah.
you can't live from your values in business, something's wrong. However, most people create the wrong values in their business in the first place. To me, the values in business, what do you think of this? To me, the values that make up our culture, that make up the core, DNA of our why and our purpose,
Yeah.
should be what you value when you're at your best self, meaning that they're the values that call you into your aligned and best self. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah.
So,
100%. Yeah.
so yeah, like for me, fun and compassion are actually values of its simple.
Yeah.
Why? Because I know that when I come from compassion, it brings out the best part of me. That when I don't come from compassion, I can be a little bit of a D.
Yeah.
But a bully D in the sense of, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I can default to a different part of myself. And to me, in creating my values, I was like, who's the best part of me? Who am I when I'm at my absolute aligned, awesome, epic self? And then it's like, okay, these are the virtues and the values that make up that character.
Yeah.
Let's ingest that into the business, because that means the business is going to call out of me my best self, which means having a business actually is the best thing for me because it's programmed to have me thrive.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. It's letting you're giving yourself something to step up into. And once that gets developed, it's not as much as it gets developed, it's the consistency that it forms in who you become. I mean, it's not something you switch on and off, but if you know that is what you value and you look forward to being in that environment, in that culture, then you're stepping into that. And the more you step into it, the more that you become and the more you play there. One of the key things that we've done with Cloud9 is the number one value that we have, it is to always help the client first. And that is just the very first thing that we come from. It is to value, to help others. and to always do that first. If we can't do that, we do that before we talk about anything regarding what is it going to cost you. It is literally, we're here to help you, and that's where both David and I would come in. We would give our time in a way that is, we would have calls with friends and family. We would have calls with potential people with the end in mind to actually help them first. And that's one of our core drivers, to have that in there. And that's when we always step into it. It's that character that gets developed. And it's a
Yeah, love
beautiful
it.
place when you play in there.
Love that. That's awesome. But yeah, so to me, just yeah, the story, the vibration, all of that stuff is so important. And I noticed the difference, and I see the difference in others. I've been following someone just recently. Actually, I connected with her on Facebook a couple of years ago, and just recently I came across her content marketing, Quintin.
Yeah.
Her alignment, her vibration, who she is so pure that like she magnetic. You want to work with this person. Just magnetic. There's no sales pitch.
Yeah.
There's no weird awkwardness
Yeah.
in the sales pitch. There's just a, hey, I've got this going on. This is how much, this is what it is. If you want it, here's the link. But she's given so much value and just being so pure that when she tells you about her cool thing, it's just hey, that is a cool thing.
It's a no-brainer. Yeah.
Yep. That's because of who she is. It's because she's so aligned with her mission and her vision, and she is she is that brand. She truly does walk and talk the brand. She didn't just create the culture of her business and save it on her laptop. So if anyone ever asked, or
easy access.
Anyway, that's my thing. That's where, to me, I still remember there was a time where years ago where I didn't value the core fundamental stuff when it came to marketing, where really building culture, really building brand, really building the DNA, so giving the business an identity, a true identity and a character. I remember there was a time where I was like, okay, well this isn't getting me money. There was this thing where I was like, well, that's all good and great, but give me something that's actually going to bring clients through the door.
Yeah.
And it's not like, now that I look back at that thinking, it was just naive thinking. It was ignorant. It was ignorant thinking, because unless that stuff's done, you can't grow. Unless there's a character developed, you're no different to a human being, though. If you had a shit personality, Quintin, if we just didn't even know your name is Quintin, that you're a boy, if we couldn't identify what you are, and then we tried to share you with the world, you'd either be ignored, you'd be not seen because you haven't been identified and languaged, which is more the case, or you wouldn't be attractive because you're not, you haven't been identified.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I think that work is epic, but it's epic for the person who's in business long term, not epic in the person who's after a quick buck.
Well, it separates those people. It separates the ones that are in there for the quick buck, and they would have their values why they do that for the quick buck, versus the people that are actually in there for the long run. And I was explaining this to David just before, when we were meeting with these two clients that we're switching over to the new agency. He was skeptical on their ability to actually execute, because what we're offering them isn't as much an implementation side of things. It's more a strategic partnership. We are helping them with the strategy to execute, but it has to come from them first before we can actually do stuff for them. And he was questioning their ability to execute, or how much of their game are they going to bring to get the results. And that's when, because I've been working with these guys for nearly a year, and that's when I was able to just show some of their track record, that these guys come from a space where they truly believe behind their brand, and their why is so strong and so passionate that they're so well invested emotionally, not just financially or physically. They're emotionally invested, knowing that they are doing the right thing for what they want to achieve. And that ultimately sets them through the past how many months that they've been going around in circles, and then for them to actually start getting some results and now being able to step up to the next level. These guys have it within them to push through the challenging times, especially now what we're setting them out is they will follow through. They have it within them to push through regardless of how difficult it may seem to the person who just wants to have that quick buck.
Yep, awesome. Mind you, though, I think it's also some people just don't understand that business is a long-term investment. And yes, of course, you can get the right strategy and right mindset, and you can achieve pretty awesome results. To this day, I don't know anyone who's gone from being an employee and having no idea how to friggin' run a business, sales, marketing, none of it, right? To starting a business and making 7 figures in their first year, unless they've sold and that's not the same thing, unless they've sold a product or an app or something, which is not the same thing as running a business. Even the people that, even the people that we often look at and think, well, you've achieved so much in such a short time. If you actually have a look, they'd been doing shit before that. They probably just got 3 or 4 failed projects before this one. They've learned on it, and now they've launched.
Yeah.
The point I'm trying to make is so many people looked at I remember writing a little rant post about it. There's so many people that are looking to business for financial salvation, when the truth of the matter is it's not. It is eventually if you put the heart and effort and focus into it, but it's not friggin' easy money. If you want easy money, get a job.
That's probably the easiest money you will ever make because it's the most certain as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, there's possibilities. And to me, every business owner should be looking at business long term, should be looking at 10 years. It should never be, let's do something quickly and get clients.
Yeah.
If I'm going to do your course. If anyone says to me, Gaby, I'm going to do your course and I'm going to be a millionaire after it, maybe the truth of the matter is if your outcome is how can I do your course as quickly as possible, Gaby, so I can get the results, you're missing the whole point.
Yeah.
It's not meant to be like that. It's meant to be, this is who I am. I'm a business owner. It's the identity of I'm a business owner.
Yeah.
I'm a crazy motherfucker who, I have to live this way.
There's no other way. There is no other way.
There is no other way. I'm just unemployable.
Yeah.
Anyway, my gorgeous friend, I'm off to catch up with a friend of mine. I'm so excited.
Go.
Haven't seen her for a couple of months, and she's got 3 adorable children, and she just bought a puppy.
Awesome. So how
fun.
old are the kids?
Yep. So we've got now. Let me think. We've got 5. I literally had 3 kids back to back. It's friggin' crazy.
And a puppy.
So,
that's incredible. Yep. Yeah.
We've got 5, 6, but we've got one that's like 9 since she was, So, but so they're older. She had the kids back to back originally, pretty much because there was 2 years difference between them, and then she got pregnant instantly. Anyway, they're small kids. They're some of my bestest friends in the world. So we're going to go play, and I'm going to go play with her puppy and go for a walk. And I wish you a phenomenal evening, whatever it is that you're doing. What are you doing?
I'm quickly going to spend some time with Em before she goes to an event. She doesn't have to go anymore.
Please let us know what you think of the Unplugged, and hope you enjoyed it, and chat next time.
Ciao.
Bye.